What up?
What up? What up? What up?
How you doing, babe?
How
So
are you?
I'm good. I did that thing where I started the stream and then I forgot that I was supposed to do the graphics package, and so I stopped the stream. So people are like, she went live and then she stopped. You'll be all right.
It's so funny because you popped up on my page. Let me see my volume. I'm a little low, I think.
I think
Maybe it's me.
I can hear you. Oh, it could be
Okay.
me. My voice might be low.
There you go. There. Now I can hear you. Okay, now you're gone. I can't hear you at all.
Oh wait.
There you go.
Am I back? Okay.
Much better.
The blues.
And you're gone again.
Right. No, it's back now. It's back, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So the blue snowball says if you take the cable out of the back, I won't work. That's the deal. Yeah. If you unplug the microphone will not work.
It says that, right?
Yeah, that's the deal.
Okay. And so what did you do?
I plugged it back in.
Of course, because you're a savage.
Technology is amazing how technology works.
But that's what savages do.
That's what we do.
Yes. Yes.
So we've been doing this 6-figure series on She's on Fire. And it's really been one of those things where we've been showing off how, when real coaches work with real clients work with real coaches and they do the actual work, like they actually do the work, that they can have these 6-figure months. They can have 6-figure launches. They can have 6-figure businesses, 7-figure businesses. They can have, 6-figure streams of income. And they don't have to just rely on having a 6-figure year. You can have multiple 6-figure years, right? And so today with you, we're actually going to talk about how do you add a new 6-figure stream of income, right? So what's up, Doug? Hey, Doug, how you doing? All right, so we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to introduce you, and then you can introduce me, because that's how we roll. And just in case y'all are like, they have this all set up. Like we was on here like at 2:00 talking about, so what we gonna do? So I'm introducing you, gonna introduce me, right? Okay, cool. Like that was a whole thing. Like there is no setup. This is a conversation. I've known Dionnie now for a couple of years.
Yeah, we're going into year 3 almost.
We're going into year 3. Mm-hmm. Actually, oh my God, yeah. We're going into year 3 because I actually did this in like March, I think it was 2 years ago, 20 years ago.
Yes.
I did a market and client attraction masterclass, and Dionnie was already crushing it as she runs the Wynter-Pfunde law firm.
Yes, I do.
I mean, she's an immigration attorney extraordinaire.
I am.
She knows what the hell she's doing. And you know what? I gotta tell you, I love your TikTok channel.
Oh, you do.
I do. I don't need an immigration attorney, but I love your TikTok channel because what she does on her TikTok channel, she's like, let me tell you this stuff that you don't know. Let me give you just this little tidbit right here that you didn't know. And it's these little tidbits, but I find them so interesting. I'm like, oh, look, you have one that you said, let me tell you the ABCs. You're like ABCD of I think it was a visa or something.
The alphabet soup, yes.
The alphabet soup of immigration. And it's just really, really interesting. And so a lot of people might be thinking like, as a coach, how do I work with an attorney? I work with experts specifically. So Dionnie is an expert. And what I love as well is that you have such a passion for immigration law and for how immigration law truly impacts people's lives and their families. I've never seen someone talk about it so passionately. And I'm like, it's not just about the money, right? But then on the other side, you're also saying to people who want to add immigration law to their business, who want to make it profitable while still serving a clientele in an amazing way, you have the Immigration Law Academy, right? Yes. So this is the whole thing. So I love not only your passion for immigration law as you serve your clients, and those clients are even corporate clients. We'll talk about that. I love how you also show people, if you're as well passionate about immigration law, we have an academy that can help you, even if you're not an attorney.
Yes. So
That's the
it's
big
my
part.
turn to. So it's my turn
Yeah.
to introduce you.
All right, go ahead. Okay.
So,
And by
so
the way, wait, for anybody who wants to know more about your Immigration Law Academy and the Jumpstart program, because Jumpstart is what, like $97 to try it out?
$97 for 3 days. It's like a cup of
97 bucks.
coffee per day. It's like
Yeah.
$97, 3 days.
It's really inexpensive.
Yeah.
But there's a URL. I hope I spelled that right. There's a
You
URL.
did.
Hey, if I can't spell, it's immigrationlawacademy.com/jumpstart, just in case dyslexia took over. Right. But seriously, if you're a notario, if you're a notary, if you're a person who does all the document preparation for immigration law, if you're that person, you should be in the Immigration Law Academy. Did I say that right?
You did.
Because I know my clients. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You did. You did. So I think introducing you, I have to start by saying I thought I was a badass until I met Donna St. Louis. I really did. I thought I knew it all. I thought I had done it all until I sat through this 6-week, one of your 6-week programs a couple of years ago. And I thought I was just this absolute badass. Like, you can't tell me nothing. I walk on water. And then I met you. And I remember thinking, I'm an attorney. Like, I don't coach people. I handle clients. And I remember we had this discussion. So if I were to introduce you, I would say, if you think you have done it all, seen it all, and you're at the end of your career and you're really good at what you do, you need a Donna St. Louis in your world. Aww. You absolutely, absolutely do. Donna is a coach, but beyond that, she's a friend. She's going to answer that phone. And first of all, she's going to spend 5 minutes and straighten out your life. Real quick. It's not going to be an hour-long conversation, and I'm not being funny about it. It's not going to be this long, drawn-out, woe is me. It's like, babe, this is what you need to do. 1, 2, 3. All right, call me back when you make 100,000 or whatever. The conversation is very simple. So if I were to introduce you, yeah, I would say you're the place where experts and people that are really stepping into their zone, you're the place that they need to go.
Well, thank you so much. And I love my clients, right?
You do.
Like, they have access to my cell phone. And I know a lot, and that for me is the big thing. Like, do your clients have access? Are you making sure that they have access? And I think that is so critical. I think right now in the coaching industry, we see a lot of people selling very expensive packages, and they put people on, go watch these video series, but then there's no way, whether it's sliding into some DMs, putting messages on a message board, any kind of way, there are very limited ways for you to get access to answers that you need when you need them. And obviously the access changes based on level, but I've never had you will talk on Friday at 1:00. I'm like, get on my calendar when you want to, 3 times a week, 1 time a week, once a month. It's up to you. What do you want? Like, let's make it happen.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think that's missing for a lot of people, that they actually need that connection. They're not getting it. So I want to talk about this series is specifically how you add a 6-figure stream of income to your business, right? And what I love is that you've added that 6-figure stream of income to not only with the Immigration Law Academy, but you also took the lessons from Firebrand and from FYRE and everything that we've done, and you've added those lessons as well to your business. Right. So what was going on in your world at the time when you were like, you know what, maybe I should check out a coach? What was going on in your world?
A lot of people think you hire a coach because you're not doing well. I think you should hire a coach when you're doing well. So I had my law firm. Things were going great, but I felt like I was doing what every other immigration law attorney was doing. And so for me, that was getting kind of like boring. Right?
Yeah.
That was a fake yawn, guys. Donna is not boring me. I hope they know it's fake. No, for real. I really was doing well, but I felt like I needed something more. Like, what else? And I remember taking that 6-week course, and I'm like, I'm not a coach. And you said, well, you can still use this in your law practice. So a lot of the lessons in the beginning stages, I was taking those lessons, like, what is my expertise? Who's my target market? I was taking that and implementing it in my law firm. Right. And I see, like, phenomenal changes. So it was kind of like add water and stir. Like the process doesn't change whether you're an attorney or a coach.
Right.
And so that's what was going on in my world. Was I was doing really good, but I wanted to know what's next.
Right. And I think what you just said is so important, that and the reason it was like that is because, number one, the methodology that I use is a business-based methodology. I choose to work with people who are experts, coaches, speakers, right? Like people who are sharing their expertise to build a high value, high profit business, because they're working with high value, high profit clients, right? And so one of the things that I think happens is, and you said it at the beginning, like I was kind of like, I had already done something in my business. And then I got to this point where I was like, oh my God, I'm going to keep doing this same exact thing for the rest of my life unless I get this one critical thing, some new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people, I think, and you said it so well, that's what people don't recognize, that is such the value, is a good coach is an idea generating machine.
Yes.
And then you leverage those ideas to make money, right? Because I think there's a lot of belief in a one-to-one financial exchange. Like, I gave you $1, show me how to make $1. No, not at all. If you give me $1, I want you to go and make 10 of those. I want you to go make 10,000 of those. I want you to write for every dollar. So it's not a one-to-one exchange. So let's talk a little bit about how you implemented some of those lessons into either the Law Academy or your business.
So I'll start with a law firm, because I think my law firm, testing the methodology, and I hate that word because I can never pronounce it, but testing that.
You can say framework. I'll give you framework. You can use
Thank
framework
you.
today.
You know, I never liked that M word.
I know
don't
you
like the
never
C
like
word.
that word.
I don't like the C word, and I don't like the M word. But for me, it was testing the framework in the law firm. When you talked about one-to-one, I was a one-to-one provider. Like, I'm going to do this one thing. You're going to pay me X, and you're going to be with me for 10 years. I think one of the things.
We lost your audio. We lost your audio. You moved your thing and lost your audio. You moved something and we lost your audio. We can't hear you. You did some magic. You did something or clicked something or touched something and you turned off your audio. What did you touch? Go untouch it. Touch it again. What'd you touch? There was something that you touched on your desk and it turned off your audio. I don't know. Did you hit mute? Did I hit mute? No, I didn't hit mute. Wait, can y'all hear me? Let's make sure I'm not losing my mind. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, your audio disappeared. So wherever your audio went, it's gone. Your microphone isn't working. And I heard your hand must have hit something and it turned it off. Yeah, they can hear me. They can't hear you. So while you look for your audio, yeah, okay, so they can hear me. So yeah, you lost your audio. So one of the things while she's looking for audio that I'll share is what Dionnie's talking about is there are 3 areas that we look at when you first come into Firebrand. We look at your area of expertise, right? So we want to make sure that we 100% that we know your area of expertise. And a lot of times people come to us and they are not 100% clear or sure of their specific area of expertise. You have, so at the bottom where it says settings, Dionnie, you should see a settings button. Click on that and see if your audio comes back. So anyway, the first thing we're looking at is your area of expertise. Well, we knew Dionnie was an expert in immigration law. Like that's what she did. Then from your area of expertise, we go to the next level and we go, well, who do you serve? And what's the difference between who you serve and who other people serve? So when we started talking to Dionnie, we're like, yes, you can be an immigration lawyer and that's great. But are you serving someone specific? Are you serving people who are near shore, offshore? Is there a particular secret, tip, trick, or something that you have? Is there some kind of expedite? Are you more in line with helping families and that type of thing? So we looked for all of those things first to say, who is your specific area of expertise. Then once we said, okay, now that we understand your area of expertise, let's talk about how we could repackage what you're already doing so that you could serve more clients without burning yourself out. Right. So that was really critical. So those are the three areas that we looked at: her area of expertise, understanding who her ideal client really was. And most people think their ideal client is everyone. And it's not even in immigration law. It's not every immigrant. Right. So we wanted to be really specific about that. And then from there, we went from the specificity of who that person was in immigration law to really understanding what those packages were and how we could repackage her expertise. Okay. Say something, Dionnie. Nope. Nope. Do you see the little settings thing at the bottom? So when you click on settings and then you click on audio, make sure that your audio input is selected. And when you talk, you see the little green thing go left and right. If you don't see the little green thing left and right, you got no audio. I love that you could tell that she's clicking on her camera. That thing, her phone, it's like sliding left and right or whatever. But yeah, I don't know if you have if you had a Bluetooth headset or something connected, but it completely disconnected. So anyway, so those are things, and we do this for every business. I don't care what your business is, we do it for every business. And where I find that people are usually doing this poorly is that, number one, they have this vague general statement that they use for their area of expertise. So we don't know who you serve. We don't know specifically what you do, and we don't know how you could do that better, right? We don't know how we can ensure that you clearly communicate to your client. And we also don't know what your methodology is. And without your methodology, your money is going to be funny. So that's number one. Then from there, we go deeper and say, now that we understand that, and we're talking about your ideal client, we really make you hone in and identify that ideal client on a level that you can't understand. I mean, it is so deep that those people are going, oh my God, she is 100% talking to me and only me. Then from there, we go, okay, let's really look at this offer. And so for Dionnie, she was already doing quite a bit. But then we were like, how do you take what you do for individuals and do it in a corporate environment? So you are doing so much more. How do we take that thing that you're doing in that corporate environment and do it for groups of attorneys? And then even more so, how do we take what you already know how to do as an expert in your business and then turn around and do that as well in other environments? In other words, how do we turn this into a law academy where people who want to add immigration law to your business, they can do that, right? So those are the things that we look at specifically when you're starting. When people come to us, they usually think they have a marketing problem. And it turns out that's not the issue they have. In fact, I think the first class that Dionnie came in for was the academy, the client attraction academy. And when we talked to her, we're like, hey, sweetie, it's not, client attraction is not your challenge, right? Hey, babe.
Test.
I can hear you.
Oh.
But now I'm hearing myself back as well. But
no, I'm just getting rid of, let me get rid of where I was first.
All right, no worries.
Better?
Yes, perfect.
There we go.
Hey, girl, hey.
Hey, girl, hey.
So what I was asking you was, when you added, one of the things I talked about is when you added, we looked at your expertise and we really said we already knew you were an immigration law attorney. That wasn't a question. But then we started looking closer at your ideal client. So when you came to me, I don't think you were as niche down. It was immigration law. How did you change that?
I think you did. I remember you talked to me about like corporations and working with corporations, and I'm like, what? Because I always assumed as an immigration lawyer, I was just going to serve one-to-one, and
Right.
I wish we hadn't gotten cut off at that point, because I was like, you were instrumental in saying and even changing my mindset about working with corporations. And I used to think, I'm just a little immigration law attorney. What corporation is going to pay me money to do anything for them when I'm a solo attorney? I practice immigration law. I help individuals fill out forms, right? That's what I do. how am I going to convince a corporation to hire me? So that seed was planted with you when you said, I remember you said it. You're like, I see you working with corporations. And I looked at
Absolutely.
you like I thought you were crazy. I'm like, and you said, you're probably not ready right now, but we can get you
Right.
there. We
Yeah,
can get you there.
and 100%, because I had worked with, U.S. District Court and all this, and Southern District of Florida and all this other stuff. I was like, sure, you can work with corporations. And of course, as someone who owned, a business intelligence company where we
Mm-hmm.
used people that were on an H-1B visa, and we would have to bring in multitudes of people that were doing quality assurance, QA work, especially when we're getting a lot of people out of Pune, India. I was like, I can't even imagine as a chief operations officer that would have to do all of that paperwork. I'm not even going to pretend that I'm going to do it all right. I'm not even going to pretend that I even know all the rules in regards to doing it right. So the thing that we
Right.
need is an expert to come in and handle this for us. And so I was like, yeah, you could definitely do corporate. So I know that was like one, like, And then the second one was the documentation. Right? I was
Yes.
like, why? I'm like, they're paying you for this, not for this. Right?
Exactly. And that's when my prices started going through the roof. Like I was like, wait, because we always, I think, as immigration attorneys, we associate our prices with the fact that all we're gonna do is fill out this form.
Right.
And that's when you kind of talked in the 6 week, you talked about your expertise. And I'm like,
Right.
I'm really good at this. So if they're paying me for this, that was one of the first moves I made was leveling up with my prices, definitely
Right.
changing how I price my
And the
services.
reason this is so important is because while, yes, your heart is saying, I'm serving these people, when you're working with Dionnie directly, though, that is a different price point as compared to working not with Dionnie directly. Right. And so those
Hmm.
are two different price points. And so those are the mindset shifts, right? Because I say this all the time, money does not make money. Ideas make money. Implementing ideas
Hmm.
makes money, right? But you
Yes.
got to have access to those ideas, which is where coaching comes in handy.
Hmm. Hmm.
So then,
Yes.
so then let's talk about. Then you said, okay, Donna's coaching, and she said, if I'm an expert, I could coach. So I'm a coach. So let's talk about the
And we
immigration
could
law.
even take it, we could even take it a step further. I said, Donna said do a retreat. I'm gonna do a retreat. But we're not there yet.
Yeah.
No, but for real, I remember it was the Clubhouse days, right? When I was just on Clubhouse talking and talking and talking. And I remember realizing how many attorneys were coming into my room. Mind you, I already had the academy. I had no focus. I had no niche. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew I had an academy. And I remember calling you and say, Donna, I think I sold something on Clubhouse. What do I need to do? And between you and Ruben, we sat down and you're like, step one, step two, step three, step four, step five, step six. Talk about clarity. Like to this day, look, I even wrote a workbook with the 6 things
Oh
to
my
this
God.
day
Awesome.
because it's so clear. It's so much clarity. And I don't move off of that. Like that is my center. No matter what I do, that remains my center.
Right. And so now I'm going to share the story. This is
Oh,
my
the
favorite
retreat.
story. This is
Oh,
my favorite
let me
story.
say this before you share it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
After I came to your retreat, remember when the mansion,
Yes.
I said, "Oh shit, I need to give people their money back." That's how I felt after coming to your Clarity Chanel. Like I literally after coming to your retreat, like I was like, girl. But go ahead, you can share the story.
So this is so funny. So I have this picture. And it is a picture of me standing. Everybody's seen these where you have like the phoenix wings and they're standing out. Mine will never be the angel wings, right? Like we ain't even gonna pretend that they're gonna be the angel wings, right? So I have this picture of me and basically because the wings standing out. And I kind of joked. I said, if you jump, I'm gonna catch you because I
I'll
got these
catch you.
wings. I said all the time, I'm like, jump. I would prefer for you to take the risk and jump. I'm going to catch you. I got you. Don't worry. I am not going to let you fall flat on your face. I'm going to make every corrective action possible. If you jump, I got you. So Dionnie absolutely had called and said, now she's in a program where she's going to actually we do this on the job training, basically, on this is how you do a mansion retreat. And so it starts in July, August, September timeframe.
Yes.
You did that 3 months of coaching, and then boom, then you come to a mansion retreat. And then I show you, like, this is how you do everything. Operative word here is that you're going to go through the class first, and then you're going to go to the retreat, and then you're going to put on your own. That is the order of operations. So Dionnie had called me, like she was calling me like well before the classes started. And she was like, so let me ask you, I know we're going to be doing this, but let me ask you this question. Right. And she's like, when people come there, what do you do? Or where do you get the houses? Or how much do you pay for this? And how much do you normally charge? And how do you, right? And so she's just asking me, and what I'm thinking is she's asking me these like random questions. And I keep saying, we're going to cover that in the class, but like, I'm never going to stop somebody from learning. Right. So I'm like, and then you would do this, and then you would do that. And then Dionnie's like, cool. Meanwhile, she's going on Clubhouse like every day. Like, you were the queen of Clubhouse. Like, she's going on Clubhouse every single day. Right. So I'm like so proud. Listen, as a coach, I'm like, oh my God, when she does her mansion retreat, it's going to be fire. I cannot wait until November, December, January after she comes to mine to see how she crushes hers. So I'm at home. Was it March or May?
May.
Yeah, I knew it was an M. So I'm at home chilling, and Dionnie calls me and says, hey. I'm like, hey. She goes, I'm here. I'm like, oh. And of course, I'm like, outside, right? So I go, maybe she's at I'm like, maybe she's at the condo, right? So, and I'm like, you're here where, babe? And she goes, I'm here at the house. And of course, I'm still like, she's here, right? And I'm in my mind, I'm going, holy shit. She was coming this weekend, and I got on sweatpants and a t-shirt, and have I showered? Right? Like, I'm like, going through the whole thing in my head. And she goes, no, I'm here at the mansion. And I'm like, why are you at a mansion? Right? Like there's literally a whisper. I'm like, why are you at a mansion? I don't understand why you're at a mansion. And then what did you say?
I'm holding a retreat.
I'm holding a retreat. And I'm like, when? She goes, now. Today. I'm like, oh my God, I'm on my way.
and but that was such a powerful moment for me, Donna. You literally said you're on your way. It was you and Kelly Charles Collins. But remember, you had told me if I jumped, you was gonna catch me. So I was like, let me see. And you caught me. So that was really powerful because you literally packed your bag, showed up, and hid at that mansion until every single person had left. And that's when you got in your car. And I mean, you literally went home. I think you came and visited, and you're like, oh, where are the door tags? I'm like, door tags for what? She's like, babe, how they gonna know what room they sleep in? I'm like, oh, because we hadn't gotten to that part yet of the training.
This is my favorite part, though. This is my favorite part. So y'all gonna get some insider rules on the mansion that is hilarious. You're not like I've been doing mansion retreats for years, right? 20, 30 people in there. I mean, high, like mansions that cost $15,000, $20,000 a night with executives and like 4 years, right? And people are like, we want to do our, strategic planning for next year. We're going to bring our teams. So I've been doing them forever. So I have royally fucked up mansions, like in a way that you cannot imagine. So I know all the little nuances and things now that you should not do. I have a full methodology. So Dionnie said, I said, where are the door tags for people's names? And she goes, what? And I'm like, how are they gonna know which room is there? Because there's like 10 rooms in here. And she's like,
it was a big house, yeah.
Oh, my bad, right? And I'm like, okay. So we're not worried about that. And then she goes, but I did bring gifts. And I'm like, okay, yes, you got gifts for people. I'm so excited you got swag. She's like, I got one for you. I was like, okay. So she gives me, because obviously she knew I was coming, whether I did or not. So she opens it up, and it's a candle. And I'm like, nope, no. We do not give people candles or fire of any kind at somebody else's house. We will not be burning down a mansion this weekend. So you can give these to them right before they leave.
When they're ready to leave.
And then the other thing she had was these sticks, the scented sticks, right? And I'm like, we don't do scents. We don't, because people have allergies. And so we don't wear perfume. We don't put on scented things, and we don't give scented things because allergies. So we're gonna these are nice. And they're beautiful, by the way. I want y'all to know these are gorgeous. I'm like, we're gonna pack these up right here. And when they leave, they can have them. But not before then, because we're not burning down the house and we're not using EpiPens this weekend. But it was amazing, right? Listen, the whole thing was amazing. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, if anybody asks me, like, from a client perspective, who do I love and why? And I'm like, I love Dionnie because Dionnie's like, I'm gonna do it. I trust Donna's gonna catch me. And I'm like, girl, I got you. It's cool. Let's go.
And I trust the information.
Right.
I trust what you tell us. Like, it's going to work. It is absolutely going to work.
And it worked. No, it was absolutely amazing. It was amazing. It was so much fun. But yeah, this is my favorite comment right here. I love it. And it, of course, is from Deanna, because Deanna wrote, you said you was going to catch her. So she jumped. It's like, yes.
You said it. You said jump, and I'll catch you. And I was like, okay, I'll jump.
Yes, Deanna said, I love Donnie. You said you would catch her. I did say I would catch her. And I caught and put on the wings and was like, we're not going to burn out a mansion this weekend, though. But I love you. But we're not going to burn out a mansion this weekend. So let's talk about what's going on.
We had a good time.
We had so much fun. So, listen, and of course, Deanna's like, I'm saying, I know what you're saying. So now, and that's the cool thing that I love about it, is that, Dionnie, you are a risk taker. You're a rebel to your heart. What a lot of people don't know is that Dionnie is actually the inspiration for the name of my business. All right. So this happened again almost 3 years ago. And I told them, I'm like, listen, you need to have a name associated with your business that represents you. And so Dionnie was like, I use the legal rebel. 100%. That's who Dionnie is, the legal rebel. Not even a question. And so she goes, Donna, I'm so surprised that you don't have a name, because you're a rebel. Like, you don't give a damn what anybody's doing. You're going to do it your way. And she goes, and you're going to make a shit ton of money doing it. So why don't you have a name? And I go, well, I can't use like the coach rebel because you're using the leader rebel. I don't want to use the same thing. And so they had homework that they had to do. And Dionnie was like, well, you say you eat your own dog food. And so I came back and I said, name my business is Firebrand, because Firebrand, if you go look it up in the thesaurus, it is rebel. And of course, because I'm a rebel, I didn't spell it the way everybody else does. That's where the name Firebrand came from, because Dionnie literally challenged me on. Listen, I love listening to my clients. I love when they call me on stuff. And you definitely did. But I love that about you, because you're such a rebel. So let's talk about you being a legal rebel, and let's talk about this Immigration Law Academy, because even in this, your statement in regards to who you serve and what's possible is very rebellious.
It
So let's talk
is.
about that.
And you know what? I decided when I looked, so you know how I started out working with attorneys. And then when I love to survey the market to see what everybody's doing. And I'm like, there's so many people that are serving attorneys. I think attorneys are in good hand. There's some fabulous coaches out there for lawyers, right? And so when I looked at the landscape, I was like, nobody's serving non-attorneys. Why not me? And initially, when I came out with it, I got so much pushback. I got so much messages from people saying, "Are you crazy? You're going to train non-attorneys to offer services?" And I was like, "You best believe it. Yes, I am." And so in the academy now, we are training legal rebels on how to deliver immigration services to the community. Our 6-week incubator starts tomorrow morning.
Oh,
We have 9 people registered. So tomorrow morning they will go with me through 6 weeks in the incubator, and that's amazing to me. So I would say if anybody's watching, don't do what everybody's doing. It's boring. Try to come up with something new and add some fire to it. No pun
right.
intended.
But I want to talk. I want to talk about that. I love that. I love that. I love that you said who who's not who's doing the work and not being served. You didn't go and say, "Oh, I can't." First of all, you didn't say, "I can't do this because somebody else is doing." That's number one. And number
Mm,
two, you literally said, "The fact that nobody's doing it means I should do it."
absolutely.
I love that. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I get, Dionnie, so many people are like, "Well, here's what I hear. I'm not ready." And usually
Hmm.
I'm not ready because I don't have the money or I don't have the time, right? Or I'm
Hmm.
just not ready, right? Those are the
Hmm.
top things. I'm not ready. And then the other thing that I hear quite a bit is other people aren't doing it. They're not doing it. I hear that all the time. Like I'll be the only one doing it. And I'm like,
Ooh,
congratulations.
juicy.
Yay.
Juicy.
That's exciting, right? Other people aren't doing it. So I want to talk about that. So let's talk about the first part, which is I can't do it because and whatever bullshit excuse that we hear.
Yeah. So I do a lot of reading, and it talks about the blue oceans and the red oceans. And what I discovered in marketing, and I'm not going to bore people, most of the times when we have an idea, we want to jump into the part where everybody's doing it, but most of that market is already gone. Like when I said I was going to coach attorneys, I look at the big players, I look at the smaller players, and I realized unless I had something really, really, really unique to offer the attorneys, it's going to be not so good. During
Right.
COVID, it was sexy when I said work from anywhere because a lot of it working from anywhere. When I said, let's do systems, processes, target market, let's do all of that with you as an attorney. Let's work from the beach, let's work from the airport. Did that really hung well during COVID?
Right.
Once I got to last year, we're coming out of COVID. Everybody was working from everywhere. People are working in airports, they're working in bedrooms, they're working from their beds. I really good at pivoting. And I have your ears to bounce it off of. If I have Ruben's ears, and I was like, nobody's serving the non-attorneys. They don't have an American Immigration Lawyers Association for them. They don't
Right.
have, where do I go to get some of this advice? So when I looked and I see that nobody's doing it, that gave me a lot of excitement because it means I can get to just forge my own path. I can create what this looks like. I can kind of eat up the lion's share of the market before anybody catches up with me. So
Absolutely.
that's what where the academy is right now. And we do have JDs in there and we do have attorneys in there, but our target, our messaging is geared to that notario, that document preparer, that non-attorney or that attorney rebel. So our
The
messaging
person who's
has
probably
shifted
doing a lot
somewhat.
the lion's share of the documentation for attorneys.
They are. They are. Because a lot of people are not going to come knock at my door. My retainer is 17,000. They're not going to be like, "Here, Dionnie, take that." So with that in mind, there's a lot of room between 0 and 17,000. And that's where I'm putting my rebels. That's where our legal rebels are sitting. And they're loving it, by the way.
Absolutely. And that's what Doug just wrote this. what makes your offer unique, what makes you different. And Dionnie literally said, oh, this is what makes me unique. This is what makes me different. This is who I'm serving that's not being served. Let me go serve them. Let me give these people who are doing the lion's share of the work and say, and by the way, you can make the lion's share of the money and I got your back. All you got to do is show up. So now they have this coverage that they didn't have before. And that is just freaking magical. I love that about that. So between doing that as well as doing the so that is one of your six-figure streams of income. Going to corporate, the second six-figure stream of income. And but that comes out of, again, people look at coaches of how are they going to solve this problem. Dionnie honestly didn't come to me to solve a problem. She had a marketing person. She came to me for new ideas so that she could not be bored. That was a problem. Like, this is boring. How do I not be bored? Right. She's like, how do I not be bored? And so that's the thing that you have to realize. You're looking for someone who has the ideas that can help you do that and the experience to back them. So I love that part. Okay. So last thing. So you're over here crushing it, right? You're like, okay, I have this Immigration Law Academy, which is really helping people who are notarios, notary services, document preparers, make a lion's share of the money that normally immigration lawyers would make. You also said you also are doing, bulk immigration documentation for companies like crazy. Like literally, Dionnie's like, girl, I can't talk to you. I got 17,000 pages. I'm like, who they bringing over, sis? Like, whose family is this? Right? So what I love is it's the idea. So here's the thing. I want you, because you are such a rebel. You jumped. Right. And this is your normal. You jumped. And because you jumped so often, it's not effortless. It takes courage to jump. Talk a little bit to people out there who are listening to you right now who are like, I want to work with Donna, but it's too expensive. I can't afford it. The timing isn't right. And what that all is really boiling down to is jump, or whether they want to work with me or not. Talk a little bit about the people who are afraid to jump and what they should do instead of waiting.
You know what, Donna? I could imagine my life without having jumped. And that's why I named it Jumpstart, because it was scary. When I started working with you, I forgot what that 6-week was. And for me, I had done like a 2-day, you had either done a 2-day or a 3-day. And I would say, if you're afraid and if you don't know what it is, just follow Donna's patterns. Just do what she does, because you're going to see the results. If you are scared to jump, you have to almost look into the future. Look 6 months from now and ask yourself, what will be different in your world? And if that shit scares you, you need to jump. Because I look at myself, I'm like, if I don't jump, if I don't go to that mansion retreat in Orlando, November of last year, or was it the year before? If I don't do that, what's my world going to be like? And that is why when Donna says, hey, who's coming through to the mansion? I'm like, pick me. Because I know whenever I come into that environment, the Firebrand family, like, they're on fire, first of all. Like, you have such a community connection. You can go far by yourself. You can go way farther with the Firebrand family. Way
and I'm going to give you an example of somebody who reminds me of you. So Lauren literally is a jumper. You're going to love her in the community, because she went and she saw Deanna put something online, and then somebody said my name twice. She got into my DMs. 24 hours later, she's like, let me go ahead and join the mastermind real quick. Let's do that. And let me go to Cancun real quick. Like, it was within 24 hours. Now, I have a special place in my heart for people who jump. Listen, if you jump, I'm like, let me go put my wings on and catch you. Okay. I mean, and I don't want you to crash and burn. That's a big deal to me. I love that courage, right? And so I look for people who are going to jump and who are jumping for the right reasons, right? They're like, I'm jumping because I recognize that this is something that can change the trajectory of my life. and that I can bring something to the community and not just take away from it. Right.
Yes.
And I've seen you do that often. You always talk about like, what am I bringing? Not just what am I taking? So talk a little bit about coming to the mastermind. Came to the mastermind
Oh gosh.
in December.
December. Because of course I follow you around. I'm like, I'm coming. And coming to the mastermind for me, again, added another level of clarity. So even after spending 2 years with you, each time I show up, it's something new, it's something refreshing. So I think Michael Jordan kept his coach forever. He didn't just get rid of his coach because he started doing great. And I think that's what these masterminds do. It's like it puts you back in the room and it holds your feet to the fire and you leave energized. It's almost like this fresh start. It's
Right.
almost like a fresh start. And I love just coming back, seeing how others have grown, how others have changed, even their hairstyle, their makeup, whatever it is. I think it's refreshing.
But one of the things that we did at this one was specifically about 10Xing your business.
Oh God, adding the zero.
Yeah. Adding the zero. I love that look, right? So I want you to talk about that a little bit because first of all, you had to do a pitch. So people don't know this.
Mhm.
So what I love is Dionnie will give you the insider. She don't sugarcoat nothing, right? So first they had to do the pitch. You had to pitch your business.
Yes.
And then the next day we did the FYRE. We and don't talk about the event that we did ahead of time because that's a secret.
Okay.
All people know is that they should wear clothes and shoes so the gators don't get their toes. So other than that,
Okay.
but we don't talk about that. So other than that, I want you to talk about two things. I want you to talk about number one, what it was like to pitch your business in front of 20 people because this pitch has to be done ahead of time. That's number one. And then number two, there's this 10X moment that everyone does. And even the little palpitations that might hit your heart when I'm like, and we're going to 10X it. So go ahead. Want to
Yes.
just share that?
So the pitch. So most people, most solo practitioners don't have a team. So if you're sitting in your office and you're alone and you have these great ideas, you're almost going haywire crazy because you have nobody to bounce that idea off of,
Right.
as is most entrepreneurs, right? The pitch for me was somewhat nerve-wracking because I was forced to talk about my business out loud and it has to make sense. Now, in our heads, it's these perfect systems. Like in our head, our businesses are great until you open your mouth and you have to tell somebody what you do, why you do it, what your numbers are, what your Q1 goals are. This is some corporate stuff, y'all. Like this is a whole different level. It's like almost having a C-suite. It's not almost. It is having a C-suite and having investors say, "Hold a minute. Come to the mat on that. Like that does not make sense." And that moment for me was pivotal because then it was kind of like it added so much more clarity. Like, okay, this is what I need to do. So you can't really BS yourself through this. You literally have to open your mouth and talk about what you do.
So how long have you been in business total?
Over 17 years.
Okay, so you've been in business over 17 years. When has there been a time in your business where you had to stand up in front of 20 people who are going to lean into your business and have you pitch on your business as well as give you vital feedback to help you grow it?
Never. And let me share this with you, Donna. The most success I've had in my business is in the last 3-4 years because of aligning myself with coaching. Like that's where I've seen the most growth and I've been working less. So I've never had an opportunity to sit and pitch and talk about my business to like-minded people. I've never had that. Never.
And it's so crazy because people don't think it's a big deal until you sit there and you're actually filling in the FYRE pitch. And then you're going, and it's a Shark Tank like moment. You literally only get 7 minutes to pitch your business to a group of people who are like, we're going to pour into you, but you got to show up. And you had someone, so Dionnie actually bought a colleague with her. And you had a story about him in regards to like doing or not doing said homework. This is the part that I thought was funny as hell. Can you share that just a little bit?
With Kevon?
Yes. I wasn't going to say his name, but you said it. So Kevon was like, I'm going to get my admin.
I hope he's watching.
You were like, Kevon was like, I'm going to get my admin to do the FYRE pitch.
Nope. And I said, absolutely not. I think everybody, you have to do it yourself because it's a learning moment. It's a learning curve. Look, and I use my pitch to sell my academy. I'm like, this is what I do. So it's not something, and for those of you who went, and for those of you who are going, like that is a gold mine. It's an, and first of all, it looks clean as heck. It looks super clean.
It
It
does.
looks really well put together. So you can use your pitch to write marketing. You can send the pitch deck to your marketing folks. I look at it sometimes and use that to make posts. So it's the pitching for me was a huge piece.
So
Was a huge
Leslie
deal.
actually uses her FYRE pitch to onboard her employees. Like when new people are coming on,
Love it.
uses her FYRE pitch. And it's so funny because there is this one part there. Well, there are a few parts, but there is this one part that says, "What's your big viral promise?" And it has to be clean. Like that has to be clean.
Mhm.
And then there's the other part that says, "Who are you really?" Right? And then from there, it's a bunch of other stuff. But those two parts, I think, like people are kind of like surprised, like, oh, how long it actually took them to do those parts.
Yes, Canva.
Yes. Deanna and Canva. Deanna has a love-hate relationship with Canva, right? But it is one of those
Yes.
things, right? Like actually leaning in and doing it. And it's funny because what I love about something that you said to Kavan was you're like, do not give this to the admin. There is a method to the madness.
Nope.
You're gonna stand up there and you're gonna do this, never having really seen it, and you let somebody else do it. And quite honestly,
Do it.
you're going to get annihilated standing up there because 20 people are going to recognize that you didn't do the work, but they did. And they're pouring into you
Yes.
and you didn't even take time to do your work. It's a big, big, big deal.
Yeah,
Right? So doing
absolutely.
that fire
And
thing.
then for the 10x moment, can we talk about that or no?
Yes. Oh, go for it. Yes.
Adding the zero gave me heart palpitations. But then we didn't just add a zero because we could add a zero. It kind of made sense when you broke it out what adding the zero looks like. That's
Yeah.
huge to me.
Absolutely.
That's
And
huge to me.
that part is actually, I think, so important because this is what happened. So we had people in there that had 250,000 they were going to hit. Some people were going to hit 500,000. Some people were going to hit 1 million. Some people 1.7 million, right? So we have this range very much on purpose. And then what's interesting is whether you are at 1.7 million, adding a zero, so it's now going to be 17 million, or 250,000, adding a zero, so it's now
Yes.
going to be 2.5 million. The level of anxiety for each of them was the exact same. And it showed up in the room. In fact, when I said, okay, so that's what you're going to hit next year, people literally started chuckling and laughing. I was like, I'm not fucking around. I'm serious. What are you talking? And I was like, no, we're doing this, right? But for me, the fun part, I'm going to now ask you a personal question. And I know we have a hard stop in 5 minutes, is that,
No, we can go a little bit. I have a 3:30. I just want to
okay,
get my mind right for it, but
no,
we're
girl,
good.
I'm
We
going
can
to
go a
let you
little
get
bit.
your mind right. So
Okay.
you added the zero, right? You added that
Mhm.
zero and you felt that like, holy crap in this moment, right? And then of
Yes.
course everybody was like, oh, she really is unmedicated and has lost her mind, right?
Hmm.
But then we took that away and we started really looking at what it would take to do this on a quarter over quarter basis. How did you feel when we actually broke it down and showed that it was, did you feel like it was possible after
Oh
we broke
gosh,
it down?
yes. Yes, once you broke it down and literally to the things we needed to sell in order to get there, for me, it was like, okay, here's my blueprint. This is exactly what I need to do.
And
And so
not
you
just
just leave
what you
going,
need to sell, what else who you needed to hire initially to be able to
yes,
do that.
yes. Hiring that first salesperson was huge. In fact, when I did my hire the other day, I was like, do you know how to sell? Because I'm not hiring an expense. Taking a word from you, I'm like, I'm not hiring an expense. And I
That's right.
literally say it in the academy to the new business owners, do not hire an expense.
That's right. It's a
So
mistake that most
it's
people make.
huge.
What is the first thing I'm going to do is hire an admin? And I'm like,
No.
That's not the first person you should be hiring. Absolutely not. And people look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, that is not what you should be doing. And then when I show them, they're like, oh my God, that is not the first thing I should be doing. Right. So I love that you were like, and by the way, if anyone's on here and have questions, please jump in and ask those questions. What I love is that, yes, there was a lot of anxiety when I did mine. And I said, the difference between where I am and where I want to be, right, between here and 10x was literally 10 people. And I said that out loud. I said, it is 10 little motherfuckers stopping me from getting to $17.5 million in 1 year. Like I was just, and it was one of those things that I was almost a little angry about it. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? It is literally 10 people. When I started thinking about that, I'm like, what am I doing? And so people know I eat my own dog food. I said, I'm going to hire, because we don't tell you to 10x in January. We show you how to level up to be 10x by the last quarter. And so I said, I needed 2 of those people immediately. Right. And I hired one of those people before we walked out of the room.
I remember.
That's right.
I remember. Powerful.
It's a big deal about eating. Right there. It's a big deal about, I think, coaches telling you to do things that they're not doing. Right. They're basically making money on giving you instruction, but not eating their own dog food. And I'm really, really big on that. And you do that as well in your own Law Academy. Like you're like, I'm telling you to do this. This is what I'm doing as well.
Right.
Right. Like you're not going in there and saying y'all need to niche down and then you're not niching down.
Now niche, and after you niche down some more.
Absolutely. So here's a good question. Who is the first person you should hire? Curious now. Here's the thing. Most people hire a VA, right? And then they go, I'm just going to give the VA all the stuff that I don't like to do and that's a mistake. There's 2 centers in your business. There's a cost center and a profit center. And you should hire for the person who's going to make you money first. And by the way, if you're in business and you're going, well, Donna, I'm not good at sales and I don't know how to make money. Well, then the first thing you should actually do is go get educated on how to sell. You need to make sure that there is not a single CEO that I know that's running a business that can't sell their ass off. They all can, all of them, from Bill Gates all the way down. And they know their product cold and they know how to sell it and they can sell it to anyone. And people always go, oh, it's because of who they are. It's not because of who they are. Trust me when I tell you they have been trained and coached to sell. So that's the first thing. That's one of the reasons why, and a lot of people don't know this about me, as I'm one of the top sales coaches in the country, because I'm like, you need to be able to sell if you're an entrepreneur. I can't be a coach if I can't teach you how to sell. I can't be a business and income acceleration coach if not being able to teach you how to sell. So to answer this question, you should always hire in your profit center first, because if you make the money within your organization, then you have the capacity, the financial capacity to go and hire that next person. Sometimes you can hire people who are doing something else, but they also have the skill to sell. At very least, you need to be hiring the person that takes the business of selling, where you're working in your business versus working on your business. They need to be able to send those to you so you can close more deals until you can hire a closer. But you need to hire in your income production segment of your business before you hire in your cost area. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm looking for someone who can sell.
I was busy taking notes. I was literally taking notes.
But even when your organization, the first thing you said is like, if I'm going to hire for this person, they need to be able to sell. Right? So how would that work out for you? What does that look like in your business?
So for me, what I did was I hired what we call an executive assistant. But their role is to go out there. Yeah, their role is to go out there and really get into, Natalie would say, get into the DMs. And I posted the other day, when you like, make those posts and go in there and talk to people and interact. Don't just make a pretty post and hope 10 people like it. Like, I don't care if nobody likes what I post. because that's not my goal. I think for me, it's just really getting into the world of my ideal client and
Right.
making sure that they know exactly what we're selling, what we're offering.
Right. Right. What I love about what you said is most people are like addicts. Right? They're addicted to the likes. They're waiting for their thing to ding for the likes. I could give a crap if
No,
anybody likes
I really
anything
don't.
at all. You ain't gotta like shit. What matters to me is the people who, again, I am addicted to an action taker. If you're an action taker,
Mm-hmm.
you'll probably listen. We're married. If you're an action taker,
Mm-hmm.
me and
Mm-hmm.
Dionnie's with me for life. She don't even know, right? Because she's an action taker. I love action takers, and so people who are action takers, those are the people that I'm like, who clicked, who slid into my DMs, who talked to me. And then what people really don't know is if I meet an action taker, I'm like, how do I make that person into a millionaire real quick? Like,
Mm.
that's 100% what I'm thinking. Like, how do I make them rich? I mean, they're expert, they're an action taker, they're a risk taker, they're ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about that. And they don't have excuses. One of the excuses that I hear quite often is, like, for example, we're having this mastermind at the end of the month. And people will say to me, it's 2750, I don't have the money. And I'm like, that's a statement. You're not asking the question. The question should be, how do I get there for free?
How, ooh, powerful.
Right. And what I find is when I say, bring 4 people and then you're free, a lot of them be like, oh, well, I don't want to. I'm like, okay, so you're not willing to do the work.
Okay. So
You're
you
not my
want free and you
client.
don't want to work.
Right. Because I
Mm-hmm.
tell you right now, I have 100% made it into rooms where there are literally with a billionaires in the room, simply because I'm like, what does it take to get in the room? What do I need to do?
Mm-hmm.
They'll tell me how much money. No, I'm not talking about money. What do I need to do to get in the room? Who do I need to invite? Who do you want to meet? Who do you want to know? What can I do for you? How can I help you? What don't you know? Right. And most of the
Mm-hmm.
time it's like, well, bring people. I'm like, well, let me go get them.
Because we know where they reside.
I know where they are. Because here's the thing. When people are like, this is what I know for sure. And I get this all the time from coaches, and I'm sure you've heard this too. People will say, well, I've made a bunch of money. I'm actually crushing it in my business. And they're telling me all this bluff and bluster and all that other stuff. And then they'll say, oh, but I'm going through a dry spell right now. That's fine. Here's what I know for sure. That if you are crushing it, so Dionnie is a 7-figure entrepreneur, I'm a 7-figure entrepreneur, Chanel's crushing it as a 7-figure entrepreneur. Like, I can go through the list, right? Deanna getting ready to do $100,000 a month, so she's gonna be 7-figure this year. Nikki's a 7-figure entrepreneur. Where is she? Natalie just did a 6-figure launch, right? So I can
I
literally
saw
point
that.
out Kendra about to be a 7-figure entrepreneur because she's doing her entrepreneurial test kitchen. So if somebody said to me, well, can you get 3 millionaires in the room? Absolutely.
Sure.
Of course I can. But why can I get those people in the room? Even if I was busted right now, even if I wasn't doing well right now, even if there was only $5,000 in my account right now, if someone said, even if I said, heck, I can't afford to pay your $25,000 a plate thing, and they said, well, can you bring 3 entrepreneurs to the room that are making $1 million this year? I'd be like, yeah, hold please.
Sure.
Right? Because just let's say I wasn't there right now, but I've been there, something happened, and right, I still have access to that network. So when people tell me, oh, but my friends don't roll like that, I already know you full of shit. You were never in that space. So why you're lying to me
Mm-hmm.
will not help, because I can't get you to that space because you're already full of crap. Right. And so I can 100% tell. People are always saying, well, how do I read people? Yeah, I read people because I'm reading your actions, because I know that if you were in the space where you're hanging out with where you're a 6-figure entrepreneur, you're hanging out with 6-figure entrepreneurs
6-figure entrepreneurs.
because you walk differently. And you walk, what do you call it?
Mm-hmm.
Walk good, right? You walk differently.
Walk
You
good.
walk in different spaces.
Yes.
You walk in different ways, right? And so I've heard people say, well, Donna, you know, when you became this person, you started, you know, you left people behind. Like, I did not leave people behind. What I said was, I'm
Mm.
going to walk that way. Either you're going to walk that way or
Are
you're going
you?
to stand still. I'm not leaving you behind. I'm not going to stop walking because you stubbed your toe. Right?
Mm.
That part.
Out.
Like, you know what? You're going to have to shake that off and let's keep moving. I'm not stopping because you have
Wow.
excuses. Right? And so I think we see a lot of that, of people claiming something because they put so much bullshit online that it's not true. And then they come to me, and what they don't know is I already peeped the bullshit before you got on the phone with me. So now I just need you to be straight.
Hmm.
And I get that that takes
Wow.
courage, but to be an entrepreneur
Hmm.
requires courage, a significant amount of it.
Yes, it does.
Yep. So anyway, I
Preach.
thank you so
Preach.
much.
Preach.
That is my soapbox. That's probably my third soapbox of the day. Been on a few of them. But no, it
Love it.
really is real. Like you have to come real. So if anyone is out there right now, if you're a notario specifically, or a document preparer, because that's who this is for, right?
Yes, yes. I'm going
Notario.
after the underserved. Notarios, document preparers, service providers, JD. So what, you fail the bar? Come into my academy. Those are my targets. This is more than just an academy. It's a movement. Like, it is a movement. It is a community.
If they're a law student and they haven't passed the bar yet, if they're a law student, can they do this?
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a connection for you today. All right.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can. Come
Yeah.
on in.
I
Come on
have
in. Come
someone
on
who
in.
actually coaches people to be able to pass the bar. Her
Hmm.
name is Jocelyn. She literally works with people who, you know what they call a C student who passed the bar?
You're looking at one.
Yeah, an
We go
attorney.
on to become millionaires. We go on to
Right,
become
exactly.
millionaires. The
So
A1s are professors. We make a joke about that.
right, there you go. So she specifically helps people who might be struggling to pass the bar. And so when you just said what you and she's in Firebrand, she's Fire Fam, which is probably
Right.
all you really need to know. Right? She's in Fire Fam.
Hmm.
So I'll make the connection to you because she can probably send some people to your academy.
And I can send a lot of people to her because we have a lot of people struggling to take the bar exam, struggling
Okay,
to pass it actually.
I'll
Yeah.
connect you guys. You guys are both
Please
in
do.
Fire Fam, so that's a no-brainer. Um,
Perfect.
and by the way, that's how Fire Fam works. So
Yeah, the
I hate to say
connection.
this, but we only like three people. People who was in Fire Fam, people who are in Fire Fam, or people who gonna be in Fire Fam. If you're not in one of those three things, we're
We
probably
don't like you.
a little snobby. And so
And
quite
it's so
honestly,
funny, Donna, because I have the same in my academy. I only like three kind of people. Either you're gonna be with me, you've been with me, or you plan on being with me. Otherwise, don't come into my inbox. Don't
what
call
are we
my phone.
doing? Exactly. And
Yeah.
so quite honestly, I can go, oh, Joss, let me introduce you to Dionnie. Dionnie, let me introduce you to Joss. I've talked about both of y'all.
And we'll
Go
talk.
make magic happen. And then magic happens and we're done. Right. And so that's how you
Awesome.
get in Fire
So
Fam. Like,
can I ask a question?
yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, babe.
How many mansions you gonna fill in January? You're gonna take up all of Orlando. So let me put it out there, people. Nobody goes to Orlando at the end of January because Firebrand is gonna have all them mansions unlocked. I'm done.
So this time we're gonna
So
have I think we're gonna have three. Right.
Jesus. So nobody should go to Orlando. Just stay away from Orlando, please.
I think we're gonna have three this time, right? So look what Deanna wrote. It's the wealthy mafia for real.
Oh, I love
Like,
it.
no, but seriously for real. Like, wait, look here, Dionnie, but for
Mhm.
real, it is though. But it is. Right?
It is. It is. Like,
It
she
is.
ain't lying. She
I'm
ain't
not.
lying.
No, we really
And what I love
listen.
about you too, Donna, like, you want everybody around you to be successful. It's not just about some coaches are like, you pay them and that's it. With you, you're like, no, no, no. We're going that way. All of us are going that way. Love it.
Absolutely. Well, I want number one. I don't want to have clashing yachts in the regatta. Like I want there to be a continuum of color, right? I don't want your yacht to clash with my yacht. I want us to have great colored
Yeah.
yachts, which means that everybody has to have a yacht in the regatta, right? And so this is
Yes.
so important. And then people got to know, like, that yacht does not match the Fire Fam yacht. I'm gonna need you
Nah,
to.
it's too
I'm gonna need you to
small.
scooch
It's
back.
too,
I'm gonna need you
it's
to
a
scooch back.
dinghy. It's a dinghy. We don't do dinghies.
I know, like, oh, look at that. Is that a 32 footer? Oh, yeah. Yachts start at 36, 37. If you could just scooch, thank you.
Yes. Out the way. Out the way.
Yes, exactly. All right, y'all. So listen, Dionnie, are you
Oh my
coming at the end
God.
of January? I don't know if you are. I know Deanna's coming back. I know
Oh,
Cindy is coming back.
Deanna's a gangster. Deanna is
Yes, Deanna.
gangster.
Deanna's coming back. She's like, I'm coming.
I'll be in touch with Deanna because I think she will be hosting my live. Did I tell you about my live event in Tampa in May? I didn't even talk about my live events, my immigration live
No,
events. I'm having
no.
huge live events. Oh yeah. So we're doing live events. I think I'm gonna tap Deanna to be my host.
Deanna is
Thanks, Deanna.
so amazing at it, by
She's
the way.
awesome. She
She's
is
so good at
amazing.
hosting. Holy shit.
Amazing.
She is
Yes.
amazing. Amazing.
I know. We talked
But
about
you know
that. I
what?
love
That's
her.
how we work in the fire, baby. Listen, you got to be in the fire. Oh, and Nikki's coming back. She's coming back
Ooh,
also.
Nikki. I
I
I,
know.
I want to get one of that blue thing. You know the thing her and Chanel wears? The fuzzy, pretty thing. There's
I have it.
pink and purple.
I have the black one.
I'm ordering my blue.
Okay. Yep. I have it. Yeah.
He-
So that's what we have going on. Anyway,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome, honey. So make sure you check
Thank you
out
for
Dionnie
having me.
Wynter-Pfunde. Stalk her like nobody's business. Go to the Immigration Law Academy. Like seriously, if you are a notario, if you're a law student, get ready to pass the bar, ain't pass the bar, all of that, you really need to be talking to
Come
her.
through.
Game changer. Game changer. And of course, if
Thank
you want
you.
to find yourself in one of those mansions in Orlando, you could go to firesavvy.net, which is spelled like it is right there by my name, firesavvy.net. If you go there and buy and think you're going to get in the house, well, you're not, because we'll just refund you. Well, you need to talk to us first. We don't let everybody get in the house because the goal is for me not to be a serial killer by Thursday.
Thank you.
So, anyway,
I love it.
thank you so
Love
much,
it.
honey. I know
Thank
you
you
got to
so
jump.
much.
Thank everyone. Thank you guys for listening to our crazy.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, honey.
Love
I
you
love
guys.
you. Talk to y'all later. Have a good one.
Bye.